You are welcome. The first Tuesday of the Ember months, a period known for plenty showers of blessings, and right after that, a ray of sunshine.
After. There's a reason they call it September rains. Well, welcome to the #1 breakfast television show in this part of the world. We have been given the license to thrill, and we have become quite good at it.
Well, definitely we have. And talking about being good at something, hey, we offer you an amazing potpourri. I like that word, by the way, of top quality family entertainment and just the right dose every single morning, right here, every single weekday.
That's right. We are absolutely glad that you make it a date with us every single day of the week, Monday to Friday. You're the best.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for joining us again, and thank you for coming up again today after yesterday's very aesthetically pleasing show. By the way, when I suggested that was beautiful. Thank you also for being there for us and joining us again today. And as always, we have quite the show, as every single aspect of today's edition has been carefully curated just for you guys. My name is Mazino Appeal.
And my name is Mary Bashwa Alimi. Now remember, you can use the hashtag WakeUpNigeriaOnTVC, and that's across all social media platforms, just so you can be a part of the best breakfast show on Nigerian television.
And remember that you can also watch us live from anywhere that you might be across the world. In case you're not in Nigeria, all you need to do is have the app on your phone. You can download it on Google Play or on iOS. Thank you very much.
You can also watch us on GOTV channel 16 and on UHF band 49.
And
if you're in Nigeria.
Let's remind them to please follow us across all our social media platforms, whether Facebook, TikTok, X, formerly known as Twitter, Threads, and also Instagram. We are as TVC Connect. It's that simple.
Yes, so now for what we have in store for today's show. Yes, tell us all about it.
Joining us on our health segment for a Tuesday, today we talk about World Physiotherapy Day and arthritis. And the focus now, Dr. Temitope Olufintuyi, a Nigerian physiotherapist with valuable experience as a practicing physiotherapist at the National Orthopedic Hospital, will be joining us.
Ife Moj, popularly known as the Minister of Joy, is a singer and an exceptional songwriter. We can't wait to have her on the show.
Well, for a better tomorrow, we are joined by Joy Abu, a broadcaster and also certified child coach. She has a passion and love for kids with emphasis on training.
Like play, Simi is now Simi Kosoko.
Kosoko?
Yeah, like, so there's something about people's names. Mm-hmm. Like, when you get married, your parents' name go just like that.
Who says you have to?
Oh, wow, exactly. I've never really understood why people do that. It's a struggle.
I was open to my wife actually saving her.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's strange for an African man.
I've been saving.
We're
I've been
holding
using
it too
mine.
much to our chests. It's not like.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I've been using
She's so
mine.
is yours.
And my sister, officially, she's Mrs. her name, but at work and anything that has to do with, you know,
Her documents.
she's still the same.
Yeah, that also
I
has
feel
to
like
do with the wahala of changing it.
and then the one of changing, like women they go through a lot just because you're getting married and
I don't
stuff.
think.
How's things going with you?
You just triggered it.
So that is how. See these Gen Zs. They are very utterly disrespectful.
Totally
Do tell.
Somebody saw me on. I know I'm a sweet 16.
Not somebody, one Gen Z.
One Gen Z. Is there somebody? So I was taking a walk yesterday, and then this guy walked up to me. I had my AirPods on because whenever I'm taking walks, I just like to have my AirPods on, listen to music. And, you know, so he kept on beckoning, you know, to me, and then at me, and then I wanted to ignore him. But he was quite persistent, and he continued. And after a while, so I took off my AirPods, and I said, okay, hello. He said, hi, hello. He thinks I have a great fashion sense. He likes what I was wearing.
Thank you very much.
And, oh, yeah, thank you so much. And I'm like, okay. So he kept on going. Well, he would just, you know, like to have a conversation with me. I'm like,
having it.
how can I help you? And he goes, no, he would just like to check in. When he said check in,
they are checking in on the
I had
hot
to ask him, check in with who and what?
Breakfast.
What stuff? Do you know me? He says, no. I said, okay, so what are you checking in on? I was like, no, we just like to have a conversation. At this point, I said, okay, you know what? I am not your mates. I'm not your mates.
I've got a couple of questions.
Amen.
Yeah, I'm serious at that point because I'm like,
I've got a question
really
for you, MM. Were you wearing Crocs?
No, I
Your
wasn't.
Crocs is the universal identification
For Gen Zs.
if
don't understand. I
you
wear
wear Crocs,
Crocs.
they
What
think
do
that
you
you're.
mean?
You wear Crocs. Well, nobody's gonna look at all 6 foot of you and think that you're Gen Z. You're intimidating. Emma, on the other hand, is petite, and if she's wearing Crocs, you're Gen Z.
Thank you so much for
Petite in a good
putting
way.
that in.
Petite is good, and you are fond of wearing Crocs.
Well,
And there
you
might
know,
be other things.
I'm fond of wearing
If you're walking
Crocs.
on the road with earpods, you're Gen Z material. Ding, 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 ding.
Now, wow, see angle. Anyway,
Is it a lie? Is it a lie?
When you put it like that, I think it's sort of raising those,
Exactly.
Gen Z radar.
What I was going to talk about was because there's this stuff that has been going on a whole lot lately. So many people have police harassment issues going on, and it's becoming really ridiculous. I'm really hoping we can really talk about this during our second banter in the second hour. But someone shared a very sad and disturbing story this morning of going out and being harassed by a drunk officer who then almost, an officer that could have shot him if not for the intervention of his colleagues. And there's a video that has been trending recently, a viral
lady
video.
who was harassed.
Exactly.
In the East, yeah.
And there's another one of police officers who were, a police officer who was challenging his colleague and almost shot at his colleague. What? Yes, it's also trending. So we're wondering, as broadcasters, we tend to make excuses, try to let the polity understand that, okay, it's just 1 or 2 bad eggs, but it's increasing, and it's a problem. And I believe something has to be done because we're talking about lives now. If somebody happens to be in an abandoned area, say the woman's body was found on the roadside in Owerri, do we know what happened to her? What if it was somebody that shot her in anger or stuff? Please, we need something.
It's ridiculous because, these are the people that are supposed to protect lives and property. And
we're going to
really
perhaps
sad.
visit this again inside of the show.
Time for the news update on Wake Up Nigeria. I am Mary Bashua Alimi. We begin from the nation's capital this morning, where the federal government has appealed to the Nigeria Labour Congress to shelve its planned 2-day nationwide warning strike, scheduled to start on Tuesday. Labour and Employment Minister Simon Lalong says a government is determined to strengthen the nation's economy and end the hardships being faced by the people. TVC News' Joke Adisa reports.
In the last 72 hours, the Nigeria Labour Congress has been mobilizing its affiliate unions and civil society allies for its planned warning strike. This was after the Congress declared its resolve to embark on a 2-day warning strike at the end of its National Executive Council meeting last Friday. The action is to protest government's seeming inability to respond to the challenges posed by the fuel subsidy removal, among other issues. The Congress says the warning strike is a prelude to a complete shutdown of the economy in 21 days should the situation remains.
To embark on a total and indefinite shutdown of the nation within 14 working days or 21 days from today until steps are taken by the government to address the excruciating mass suffering.
This news conference by the Minister of Labour and Employment is to address the issues raised by the NLC and efforts by the Tinubu administration thus far on them. Simon Lalong seeks the understanding of Nigerians as government takes difficult but necessary steps to redress errors of the past. First, he says he has yet to receive a notice of the warning strike from the NLC in line with stipulated regulations and laws.
It has become pertinent to appeal to the leadership of the Nigerian Labour Congress, NLC, to suspend its intended 2 days warning strike, as such action will be detrimental to the gains already been recorded on our course to securing a greater future for Nigerian workers and citizens at large.
Nevertheless, the minister says the Tinubu administration has taken steps to cushion the impact of the removal of the fuel subsidy, and this is now being implemented by the 3 years of government. Is optimistic this will trickle down in a matter of days.
While some of these policies are being planned and fine-tuned, others are being rolled out as palliative measures to bring temporary relief to Nigerians.
The government appeals to organized labor and indeed every right-thinking citizen to team up with security agencies in taming the excesses of marauders whose illicit activities have led to needless loss of lives and properties. Joke Hedsa, TVC News, Abuja.
Away from that, the Presidential Election Petition Court will on September 6 deliver judgment on the petitions filed by the People's Democratic Party, Labour Party, and the Allied People's Party challenging the outcome of the 2023 presidential election. Registrar of the Court of Appeal, Umar Bangari, confirmed this development in a telephone conversation with TVC News. The Labour Party, PDP, and APM had petitioned the tribunal seeking to nullify the election of President Bola Tinubu as the winner of the 2023 presidential election. Judgment is also expected to be delivered by election tribunals in 25 states for governorship, National Assembly, and State Assembly election petitions. Outside Nigeria, the leader of Gabon's military junta has vowed to return power to civilians after free, transparent elections. In a speech after being sworn in as interim president, he did not give a date for military rule to end. General Brice Nguema led last Wednesday's coup against Ali Bongo, toppling the president shortly after he was named winner of a disputed election. Crowds of cheering civilians turned up at the inauguration. The coup was welcomed by many eager for change. Some say General Nguema's rule will be a continuation of the 55-year Bongo dynasty. Ali Bongo's father, Omar, was in power for 41 years before he died in 2009 and was succeeded by his son. The general, aged 48, spent most of his career in the Bongo's inner circle, and is even thought to be Ali Bongo's cousin. At Monday's inauguration, General Nguema gave a defiant speech referencing the likes of South African Archbishop Desmond Tutu, French statesman Charles de Gaulle, and a former Ghanaian leader, Jerry Rawlings. And that's it on the news update for this hour on Wake Up Nigeria. There's so much more to come. Just stay with us.
And you're welcome. It's time for What's Up and About. We have very little time and so much to talk about because there's so much of these instances happening. I wanted to bring to our notes the instance of Twice, a social media TikToker and also YouTuber, a very interesting young person. I love his content. He does these content where he's the same character, all characters inside
in the family.
In the family. There's a brother. I can't remember their names, but he's very, very funny. However, in 2016, he was suicidal and it reached social media and people actually reached out to him. One of such people to reach out to him was Tony Abraham, who was on social media actually shedding tears and asking him not to do it. Don't take your own life. Don't end it all. He eventually got better and he reached out to everybody who had tried to reach out to him at the time. And according to him, nobody responded. So he found that it didn't seem like it was genuine. That empathy from before was genuine. He only said that the only people who seemed genuine were a couple of pastors and Fowles, the bad guy, but everybody else. The interviewer asked further, I mean, are you saying that Tony Abraham, who was very, very present on social and vocal on social media, did not, reach out to you after that? And he was like, I'm not saying anything. You guys should infer what you want. So I'm asking these social media empathy that people, especially celebrities, put out there, how genuine is it? Is it just simply for clout chasing? Now, I'm not specifically pointing to anybody, but I'm just asking, after that first square box of you saying, oh, I'm concerned, what happens after? Is there anything, there are other instances in any case. You were talking about Brain Jotter's
Yes,
instance.
so over the weekend, I was drawn to Brain Jotter's content post on his Instagram. To be honest, I really did not know who he was. And, the way he started the video was he doesn't understand how Obiku. So he mentioned a few names and how Davido and how they've done, and so and everybody was riled. It will get you riled because gossip.
What they about?
You know me, I live for gossip. So I was like, and the next thing he takes us to, the story.
He says,
he takes us to the story. Yes, how good
generosity.
Yes. And then he takes us to the story of him helping out this lady went all the way to Abuja. She had skin ulcer. Okay, so apparently the woman is a fan of his. So the daughter reached out to him saying that, okay, my mom is a big fan of yours, but she wasn't begging.
No.
or asking for assistance, right? But, you know, he got curious because in the video, the woman had, you know, bandages on. And so he wanted to, you know, inquire more about the woman. Anyway, in a nutshell, he flew down to Abuja, saw the woman, helped her out. It was a beautiful video because he made her smile, he made her laugh. They had a beautiful time together. You can tell that that time together was even more precious than whatever assistance that he was going to render. In that instance, so yes, I see the genuineness, but because we have seen a lot of cloud chasing in this regard online, it's hard to really tell. Right? If it's coming from a place of empathy, is it coming from a place of love? Is it coming from a place of humanity? Is it coming from a place of selfishness? What exactly is the intention behind this? Because I believe that you can do this without putting it online.
Your gate man.
Your gateman's children. Are they going to school? Are you looking out for them? Your house help that is with you in the house. What are you doing to help? Many of these young girls come, their parents sell them off to other parts of the world, right? You know, to fend for them, to hustle so that they can fend for them. Are you asking them, this money, this salary that I'm giving to you, is it enough? Is it taking care of your family bills? Or everybody's just in a hurry, I want to put out content, I'm going to put it up on social media, or so that people can know that I'm helping somebody.
Delicate, you know, you don't want...
So the thing is this, when it comes to helping, life has taught me that people have their different ways of wanting to help people. There are some people who do it so that tomorrow they can get more aid to help more people. That's why they put it on social media. While there are some people who actually do it for clout. Now, can you tell who is doing it for what? You can't.
Okay.
And that's the truth. You cannot tell who is doing what for what until time reveals itself. So my belief is this. If it was a case of you know, a random you helping. But I just always feel like when people are doing stuff, they should try as much as possible to remove themselves from the situation. Yes, it might be something emotional for you, something touching, but then that's why you have a PR agency. Because when you are directly involved, people might think you're chasing clout.
Pause.
Now, I just want to
Clink, you pause. Clink. Just to jump on that and let you go back. Now, I understand what you're saying. Somebody is getting helped. Awareness is being brought to a situation. More people will help. In that regard, yes, I know that there is that, you know, imbalance, or perhaps maybe you're also trying to help your social media growth as well. Fair enough. But the fact is that I do not want to be the one to judge whether it is real or whether it is not. Is this person getting helped? Fantastic. I love it. Do it. Continue. You will know the people who get up in the morning and say, okay, who are we going to help today? Okay, that guy worthy. Nope. Let's do this one. I'm going to bring us more numbers. You will know them. But the people whom it comes from their heart. There's another young fellow, Osita Popcorn. Oh, my goodness.
I know you love that guy.
Oh, my God. Osita brings tears to my eyes.
Just as I was saying, the thing is this, everybody has their own way of doing things. However, I always preach against entitlement. Whatever anybody wants to do with their social media is their business. Whatever they want to do with their money is their business. They worked for it. It's okay to say, oh, you have to help this person. God has blessed you, bless someone else. But what if they don't want to bless? It's not you. You can only pray that your favor will come either from somebody else or even from God himself. And that's the truth. However, we should remember that it is God who uses people to bless people.
Exactly.
But people forget that. However,
whatever
you cannot
the instrument might even be social media.
So when people say, this celebrity is stingy, this celebrity is generous, I smile because you don't even know what they are doing.
Okay, Masino, I'm going to...
The fact that they are not putting it on social media does not mean that they don't... See, even helping your family members is a lot of work.
Exactly.
It's a lot of money. So a person who is not helping strangers, but is carrying and lifting
his family,
people around him, he's already trying his best.
What were you going to counter?
I was going to bring, you said something about using social media as an instrument. No, you don't need to use social media as an instrument to show love or to be humane to other people. No, you don't have to. As a matter of fact, you really do not have to. Before social media, were people not showing love? Were people not,
I think God is on Instagram, and I'll tell you
providing for other people?
God is on Instagram. It's perhaps
doing
maybe
newspaper publications.
But
oh wow!
You know what I
see
think?
Are you serious?
In the world that we live in, we're also distracted, so distant from one another. We're growing apart. unfortunately, it's the same device that's dividing us,
Yeah.
quite frankly. It sits in a place, and you are a world apart from I am, because you're in Italy checking out one continent, and I'm in a Jiglet checking out, you know, who got robbed and so and so. However, the same instrument, if someone was using it as a tool to actually show us empathy that we are losing, that dying empathy in society, that community sense of community, then it's a good thing. If that is what we're going to channel our attention to, and I always say to people, you want to filter your content. It's not everything that comes, because once you click on Big Bum Bum, it's Big Bum Bum you continue seeing. I've absolutely, because it was embarrassing one time at the bank, I opened my Instagram and then, click.
What have you been clicking on?
Question, fantastic. It will happen. And if you click once, it continues coming.
You know,
I'm not
it's
denying that.
funny,
So what I've
'cause-
done is I've cleansed my Instagram.
You filtered it.
I filtered it. So I tell, I don't like this content. I don't want to see much of this. So the only kinds of content that come to me are very wholesome, emotional content. And I love it because in the morning, I just wake up and I'm like, I feel good.
Yeah. I was having this, I taught a few young people a few weeks ago, and the conversation was about the influence of digital media on cultural perception. And in the course of that conversation, I was asking them, what are you posting on social media? What are the content that you are looking for on social media? Let's not forget that the sort of content that you are focusing on, your algorithm is bringing it back to you. So you need to be very intentional with the sort of content that you're posting, the sort of content that you're focusing on, so that you could also be daily inspired. And that is how you also get your empowerment.
Now, we should also remember that in this age and time of Elon Musk's dollars, people will do anything for the money.
Yes,
because they get paid now to
use
post
empathy.
content. However, on a more serious note, don't judge people regarding how they choose to spend their money. It is their money. It is not your business how you choose to do it. You are not the one to tell them what to do with their money. You are not the one to tell them what to do with their time and everything. So let's just at least be appreciative if the help comes. And if it doesn't, help will come from elsewhere.
Yeah.
Just wanted to say finally, shout out to Osisa Popcorn.
Yeah.
And shout out to Brain Jordan for what you did over the weekend. Fantastic.
I'm a fan. Osita Popcorn. We'll do something together. Yeah.
Exactly.
We have to go on a quick break now, people.
Exactly.
Wake Up Nigeria continues shortly.
And you're welcome. It's time for the dailies. You might be picking up one or two of these, and we're going to be telling you, intimating you with what the headlines that you might be meeting will be. Of course, I have Mary here with me. Thank you very much for joining, Mary.
Thank you very much for having me.
Grand. So, we're going to start from the Guardian newspaper this morning, and we have a very interesting chart here. It's Tinubu's burden of resetting Nigeria, 100 days in office, and there's a chart that shows every reform that he has made or every instance that has come off of these reforms or policies that have been put in place. The list is long. It starts with fuel subsidy removal, foreign exchange, FX liberalization, appointment of service chiefs, Emefiele's arrest, EFCC bus removal, student loan scheme, dissolution of MDAS board, appointment of ministers, and Niger crisis. On the other side, rising inflation, high fuel prices, bloated cabinets, spike in living costs, worsening FX crisis, rising poverty, shrinking household income. So there's a lot that's happening on this chat here, and it's in the past 100 days, we have been visited with all of these instances. Some say it's for the betterment of the economy as we move ahead into this regime. Others say that, well, what's to come? Currently, we're facing a two-day strike ongoing.
Absolutely.
And this is different because even the banks have also joined in. I'm sure we'll revisit this in other papers, but let's move on with the other headlines inside of The Guardian.
Okay.
You want to go ahead, please?
No, please go ahead.
Thank you. Bold reform leaves Nigerians more miserable amid assurance. That's on page 6. And Gabon coup leaders General Nguema sworn in as interim president. Apprehension as Labour begins warning strike court rules on presidential election. That's the one headline I was referring to from before. You were going to say?
Yeah, I was actually going to take a look at the policemen, NAB colleagues for abduction, extortion in Rivers State, and link it to what we were talking about this morning.
Yes.
It seems like the police, they're everywhere, not for good news.
Well, so there's this thing, the police are humans too.
Yeah.
Whatever you're going through, they're also going through.
Yeah.
It will behoove the authorities to actually use this opportunity as a reorientation phase. Because these are not just every other person who's walking the streets. These are people who are walking the streets with arms and are also vested with the responsibility of taking care of everybody else.
However, let's also keep in mind, especially if we are to believe all that is being posted on social media by the police themselves, the representatives, that these reforms are in progress. They have been done and they are also still in progress. So the question is, are those reforms having any effect, or who are those reforms being focused
Exactly.
at? So that's something we need to
Very
ask
true.
questions about. Because when we talk about reforms, they're actually moves that have been made to that regard. And I guess that's why the police has been trying to work on its image, especially on social media. So who's to blame? That's the question.
What paper do you have?
Okay, so I have the Punch newspaper here.
Okay.
And the Punch newspaper says, presidential poll petitions, military police warn protesters as tribunal delivers verdict on Wednesday. Military police vow to prevent violence, tribunal proceedings for live telecast. Court orders workers to stay away. PDP LP confident. APC promises to obey ruling. Down here we see 40 years after Buhari's suspension, Lagos Light Rail begins operations. Foreign investors repatriated $5 billion dividend, and that's coming from the CBN. 4 suspects arrested for torturing trainee internet fraudsters. Over 1,000 lawmakers appointees get diplomatic passports. And up here, we see subsidy pains. Labour vows to ground economy begins strike. As you said, this was going to feature a lot in the news this morning. Maritime bank workers, CSOs plan rally. Federal government begs NLC to shelve strike. And finally, Rep summon 6 MDAs over federal government asset sale.
I'm very excited about the photo story, actually, with the Blue Rail kicking off from yesterday. I'm hoping to see how this is going to affect, especially commuters out there from that area of Lagos, because it is quite one of the most, where you find the most mass of commuters, especially coming all the way down from Badagry to work on the island. This is going to be a relief for most people. But I'm wondering whether the schedules are capable of handling that mass of commuters is one big question. I, however, want to note that this has taken all the while that I got back into Lagos from 13 years ago up until now to actually be accomplished. Because I remember the demolitions across the corridor, the Orili corridor, from 13 years ago just for this. 13 years. 13 years.
So that's what I was actually going to make reference to, that the fact that it has finally begun. For me, I always believe it doesn't matter how long, it's how well. And by how well will it be maintained? And then, of course, as you mentioned, the scheduling. Nigeria is a very unique country in so many ways. BRT tried to do the scheduling thing. Did it work? No. There's so many other such instances. So at the end of the day, it's about we as a people and how we manage certain situations. So
well,
let's wait and see how this turns out.
We have large and big hopes for it. We hope that it continues to be as pristine as possible when it comes to the operations. Let's move on now to another daily. That will be the Nation newspaper. The Nation newspaper has these headlines. Tribunal verdict on poll, Tinubu will be confident. Federal government, TUC, strike over subsidy pains.
That's the Nation newspaper.
That's the Nation newspaper. Subsidy pains not needed now. NLC pushes ahead, shuns meeting with ministers. Wage award plan ready in 2 weeks, and presidency cautions against mixing labor matters with policy. DSS warns plotters of violence, and at the top, tolling of federal highways to go on, says Umahi. And Oando acquires NAOC's upstream oil assets, and Sanwo-Olu drops 5 in new nominees list to assembly, and more insight into Tinubu's 100 days in office. Tolling of federal highways to go on is what I really wanted to talk about. Nigeria is a vast and big place, and when you go through most of the major highways in Nigeria, you find out that it is in a terrible state. I'm not sure if tolling is the best way. I'm just one person out of 250 million, however, because I believe that if I pay taxes, perhaps maybe some of that would be used for the basic amenities, and one of which is transportation. If I can get from one place to the other, that solves a whole lot. If you can't get me there in facilities that have or amenities that have been made possible, let me be able to get there under my own steam.
So the thing is, tolling is not
pay to go from one place to another. It's not new.
Tolling is not. In fact, we have toll gate here. There's a reason it's called toll gate. There's another
private
toll
partnerships,
gate. So
however.
it's actually something that has.
Those are private partnerships. Now, for a federal institution to now say, I'm going to toll you to pass this road.
But it was a federal road. That was the case. That's why we have toll gate bus stop at 7 Up. We have toll gate somewhere around Songo area. The toll gates have always been in existence.
Which eventually were abolished.
Abolished.
Yeah,
But
like
now
you
they're
can't
bringing
tell.
them back so as to raise money to maintain the roads. And
What happens to your taxes,
But
however?
I know we have to go to the kitchen right now.
I know this. See, okay, you know what? Let's already go to the kitchen. Hopefully, you pick up one or two of these papers and tell us what you think about the instances that we've raised. Use a hashtag WakeUpNigeriaOnTVC. And please, what's happening inside of there? We've taken too much of your time.
No, continue. Continue. You've forgotten that a way to everybody's hearts other than men is through the belly. We need to eat first.
We are going to toll that.
Yeah, you need to eat first before you have energy to tow anything.
Please go on.
Welcome to the kitchen, guys. This is Chef Prudy with me making her debut on the show. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm nervous.
Don't worry, you'll be all right. So this morning, guys, she is making banga jollof. Ooh. We Nigerians just know how to be creative, though. Like, whoever thought? Now, let's talk about the ingredients for our banga jollof.
Okay, basically we'll be starting with our palm nut extract, which we extracted from the banga after boiling. Then
That's
I
from the
powdered-
palm kernel
from the palm
nuts,
kernel
okay.
nut. Then we have the jollof base, which comprises of our tomatoes, tatashe, onion, and tin tomatoes. We have our rice. We have some fillet fish. We have our crayfish and Cameroon pepper. We have some smoked paprika. We have banga spices here. We have seasoning, salt, uyayang. We have parsley for garnish. We have fume. This comprises of our stock. Then I blended our celery, onion, and carrot to give us this and the bones. Then we also have, here we have smoked atadine sauce.
Smoked atadidi sauce. So that's going to give the, so other than the banga flavor, you also have like that smoky Yoruba taste.
Definitely.
This gay. Where are you from, please?
I'm from Edo State.
How did you come up with this idea?
Okay.
Because let me tell you why I asked, right? So there's this atanidi flavored sauce that I have. It's just, it's packaged like in a bottle.
Okay.
So regardless of whatever even after my finished meal, I will still sprinkle a little bit of it because I want to have that raw Yoruba
That kick.
flavor taste, you know,
Okay.
that kick. I mean, so how did you come about with this, please? Tell us.
Okay, from school.
Ooh,
Yes,
okay.
Ace Culinary Arts Academy.
okay.
Yes, it's our signature pepper sauce.
Ah,
Yes.
nice. Love it, guys. I am so stoked about this morning's recipe. We are having banga jollof. I think this is something that every Nigerian needs to learn. It's a lot of work, though, because I guess from the extraction of the
Yes.
oil from the palm kernel nut, I think that's why a lot of people run away from banga, making banga
Definitely,
soup.
yes.
But if you really want to get the best out of your banga, stew, sauce, soup, whatever, I think it's just better to go through the process of boiling the palm kernels.
Definitely.
And then extracting the oil from it.
Sure.
Okay, so now let's talk about the process for the meal. What are we starting with?
Okay, first of all, we're going to parboil the rice. because
Okay.
Everything is almost ready. So after parboiling the rice, we'll wash, and we're just going to basically combine everything
together.
Yes.
I see that we're heating up our water for the rice.
Definitely.
So we're going to parboil.
Yes, ma'am.
And then after what are we doing with the fish, by the
We're
way?
going to pan grill the fish.
Okay. Now you said fish fillet. I think we
Yes.
need to take off the wrap so that we can see what it looks like, what process it had to undergo. Oh, that looks good. Okay, so first off, what is, can you pick it up?
I'm coming.
What's the name of the fish?
Okay, we have mackerel fish here. That's
Mackerel fish.
Our regular Titus fish.
Okay.
Yes. So
And
what we just basically did, we just
it's
had to-
Titus.
Yes.
No, I thought it was salmon.
No, it's Titus. That's the
Okay.
idea.
All right.
Basically. So what you just have to do, we just have to remove, with debone, they have to remove all the bones.
Okay.
So it's just easy when you're picking it with your food. There's
Okay.
no bone, there's no restriction at all.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
And then you like just, carefully,
remove
just
it, separated it. Then I just added a bit of black pepper and
Okay.
salt.
And what are we doing with this?
I'm going to pan grilling it, then it's going to be our protein for our rice.
Ah,
Yes.
this is so beautiful. And, talking about our pepper mix here, for a very long time, I underestimated the role of tatashe and chili peppers
Okay.
in your pepper sauce or in your tomato mix. Like, I underestimated it till I started using it recently, and I'm like, girl, you have been missing.
Definitely.
There's a role it definitely plays. And
Yeah.
oh man, I can't wait for us to begin our water is heating up for our rice. We're going to begin parboiling. But hey, we're not doing this without you. You are definitely going to on this journey with us. So we're going on a quick break, people. Wake Up Nigeria continues shortly. Stay with us.
And you're welcome back. Now joining us in health today to talk about World Physiotherapy Day and arthritis is Dr. Temitope Olofintuyi, a Nigerian physiotherapist with valuable experience as a practicing physiotherapist at the National Orthopedic Hospital. You are welcome,
Thank
Dr.
you so
Olofintuyi.
much. Good morning. Thank you so much.
Thank you for making sure I got that name right. Good to have you here. World Physiotherapy Day, is that today?
No, that's on Friday.
That's on Friday.
It's, every September 8th every year. Physiotherapy is celebrated globally across the world. The focus for this year, though, is arthritis. And I find that interesting because that is one of the major conditions that we treat. One of the very common ones that we find, right? Especially here in Nigeria. In fact, a lot of people have that condition and they don't know until the symptoms get worse. So it is a good one that the world globally is educating everybody about arthritis.
Two questions. First off, people would really want to know exactly what physiotherapy is about, and then the actual definition for arthritis. Physiotherapy, that's movement, joints, bones.
Yeah, interestingly. And I actually like
Layman
the fact
version.
that you started from movement. So physiotherapy basically is rehabilitative medicine. So
Rehabilitative.
So when you think about physiotherapy, you think about rehabilitation, think about movement, think about pain management, think about independence, think about function, think about recovery from chronic illnesses. So usually we get comments such as people thinking physiotherapy is just about massage. And I mean, you could not have gone to school for so long just to study how to massage and all of that. But physiotherapy is rehabilitative in the sense that our major focus is to bring people back into full physical health using diverse methods. So we have different modalities that we use in achieving that goal. But the major focus is for you to be back to full health and independence as much as possible, depending on the myriad of conditions, neurological, cardiopulmonary, pediatrics. It could be anything, basically. But the focus is to be back to full function. Now, arthritis is a chronic inflammatory disease or condition across the joints. So there are different types of arthritis. It could be osteoarthritis, which is a very common one, rheumatoid arthritis, juvenile idiopathic arthritis, which is common in children, spondyloarthritis, Gout's disease, different types of arthritis. However, the symptoms presented in each individual can be different depending on their state of health prior to the condition.
The arthritis it's a challenge with the joints.
Yes, with the joint
And what
surfaces.
happens exactly at the joints to cause arthritis?
All right. So the joint has articular surfaces, that is the surfaces that rub over each other. So in arthritis, those surfaces are inflamed or attacked by the body, depending on, like I said, the type of arthritis. It could be an immune response, an immune trigger to the body. Now, when those joint surfaces are inflamed, obviously, it's going to cause pain when you move. So you have symptoms like stiffness, redness, weakness, and then depending on which type, you could also have generalized body fatigue, body weakness, and all of that. Like I said, the symptoms presented differ based on...
I got a symptom for you. I wake up in the morning and I feel a certain stiffness in one hand and not the other. And why is it that when it rains, my knees hurt? So I don't, my mother would say I'm a soothsayer that I can call the rain because my knees hurt. I wish I could make money out of it. Oh, rain is coming.
Interesting.
Why does that happen? Okay,
so that happens for, like I said, different persons, different symptoms. That doesn't necessarily have to be arthritis. But when the temperature goes down, people react differently to change in core body temperature. So we have people who complain of pain at their waist, people complain of pain at the knees, people complain of pain, at the arm and all of that. However, if you're having recurrent and persistent stiffness when you wake up early in the morning, you should check it out, except if you were probably lying on the hand throughout the night and all of that. But if that is not the case, you should check it out. It could be one of the forms of arthritis, not necessarily.
So Nigerians have this notion that arthritis is only in the hip.
And,
Yeah, you heard about that. Any other thing, now exercise is going to come out. But why is the hip a very major, what do you call it now when it comes to when it comes to the word arthritis? Why do people think arthritis in relation to the hip?
All right, so the hip is a very complex joint. I mean, it loads more weight than any other part of the body, except for the knees, which is also a very common one. But then because of the load of the body on the hip and on the knees, there is increased risk of having degenerative changes along the areas.
Okay.
So you would have people complain of hip pain and especially knee pain. But then that's because of, number one, body posture. So if you do not have a very good body posture, there is an increased tendency of loading weights incorrectly, which would also predispose you to having degenerative changes along those joints. So while people might think it is just about the hip, you can also have arthritis at the hands. Anywhere, literally anywhere. Okay. So far, there's a joint.
I heard this, or I saw this someplace. Putting a wallet inside of your back pocket always is also it's a big deal. It's not a good thing.
Yeah,
to carry a wallet in your back pocket.
Yes.
Could you explain, please?
All right. So that's actually quite simple. So the reason is because when you put a wallet at your back pocket, you're going to be sitting on the wallet. That changes. That rotates your hip. That rotates your hip somehow, and then your spine is bent. So you would not feel it immediately, but in the long term of doing that over and over, you're going to cause a change along it.
Did you know that? I mean, seriously, it's so simple because everybody carries a wallet. Yeah. I personally do not like carrying wallets, but I saw this video where one guy, his legs were measured, and it was found that one's longer than the other. Not that it was literally long, but because of the positioning of his hip. Yeah. After years of carrying a bulky wallet in his back pocket,
so he
had kind of
around.
like, flexed his, hip a bit. So what are what are some of the little things we can do to save ourselves from long-term damage, especially when we talk about arthritis? What are those little things habits that we can
Well, the most important habit you have to inculcate is movement. And as simple as that sounds, a lot of Nigerians, not even just in Nigeria, across the world, people have become more sedentary. So inculcating movement, inculcating physical exercises, even as little as walking, as little as stretching. If you do a desk job, for example, you can set an alarm on your phone for you to get up every 30 minutes. Just walk around. Something as simple as that. And also posture.
Yeah.
Posture is very, very, very important. Like I explained earlier, distribution of weight across the body will load the joints differently. So if you have a very bad posture, it's going to load a joint in a bad way, and then that could predispose you to not just only arthritis,
so it's funny
several
because
other conditions.
While I was growing up, it was something older people used to talk about, but these days, even Gen Zs and then Alphas are complaining about, especially the back one. And I would like to think that it's because they're doing this.
Yes, actually.
So, especially at service, I like to hold my phone like this, and people think it's because I want to show off my phone. It's not about showing off the phone. I'm actually trying to save my back posture. So please tell them, because...
Actually, we have a name for that condition. It's forward neck position.
Forward neck position?
Yes.
This is a modern thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And it is literally caused by bending your neck always to use your phone. Well, a lot of people do not know this, but your head is actually very heavy.
Oh, yes, it is. Especially mine. With a big head, they're referring to me.
So, bending forward that way is going to load your neck badly. And then that could cause a lot of pain, actually. And so you find people coming down, young people coming down with neck pain, at the upper back, pain, middle back pain, and the lower back. Just pain, just along the spine. And the major reason is because they've been bending their neck, bad posture. Yeah. All throughout the time.
That's very...
So if that could be corrected, I mean, it's not so much of a big deal to hold your phone upright.
Yeah.
So if that could be corrected, then everybody's fine.
Dr. Olofintoyi, thank you very much for coming through today. In this little session, we've learned so much. And I'm sure that if you're out there, you've been listening or you've been watching, that you've taken something home. No wallets, hold your phone upright, try to move a bit, especially if you're living a sedentary life. Set an alarm. Help yourself, because your body will thank you for it in the future. Thank you once again. Good.
Thank you so much for having me.
Grand. Now, let's revisit the kitchen and find out what's been happening inside of there. Please do intimate us.
Interesting conversation there. Imagine what posture you should be in when cooking. I hope we are in the right posture. All right, welcome to the kitchen, guys. This is Chef Prudy, and this morning she's making for us banga jollof. Right, this is definitely going to be a bang. What do you think, right? Okay, so run through the ingredients and let us know where you're at. Let's go.
Okay, we've washed our rice now, so we're just going to be combining every other thing we have on the table. So first thing goes our palm nut extract.
So there's absolutely nothing in that pot other than the rice,
yes,
right?
ma'am.
Great.
Yeah.
And so tell us how you were able to achieve or get our banga extract.
So what I did was, after boiling our banga, that's the palm kernel nut, to when it's soft, I just had to bring it out and pound. So I used the mortar for that. Then extracted the juice and brought it to a reduction. That means I cooked till it became thick.
I think the best tool to use while extracting the juice from extracting the oil from the juice is charcoal. This time where gas is expensive. Okay, so you also added something in there, I think a tomato paste.
Yes.
Okay, so what do we have in the tomato paste?
So we have tatashi, we have peppers, we have onion, and we have tomatoes with.
So that's more of a sauce.
Yes, jollof sauce.
What is there any sort of seasoning in the sauce?
Yes, there is. So we have loads of crayfish, Cameroon pepper.
Okay.
Then we add just ginger and garlic.
Okay. So what's this?
This is fume. Okay. That's our stock.
What do you call it again?
Fume.
Fume.
Yes.
Fume. Okay. That's a combination of what?
Our stock. So I did fish stock.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Then I blended the bones and sieved.
Okay. Okay. So that's what you call fuming?
Yes.
Fuming. Okay. So it's a combination of blended bones, juice.
Yes.
And then
your celery,
onions.
And carrot.
Okay.
So we're going to be
Interesting. You see that we do our best to bring you the very best of chefs from around the world to make sure that you're having the best cooking experience. Not just at home, but anywhere. So you could also, pass this same knowledge to your friends, and then your friends can also pass it on. But do not forget to tell them that you learned it here on the Wake Up Nigeria show. Thank you very much. So what's in there now?
Okay, so we have crayfish and Cameroon pepper.
Okay.
So this is some banga spice.
To give it a kick.
Yes.
Okay.
So here we have seasoning.
Nice.
Yes.
All right, looking good. I see. So is there any water going into the rice?
Yes, we'll have just a bit of water. Just a bit.
So at what point does the uyayak go into this dish?
Before we add the water. So I'm just going to roughly grind it.
We're going to grind this?
Yeah, just crush it a bit.
Oh, you can do that?
Yes, just a bit.
I've been putting the whole stick into the soup.
You can.
But you could also grind it.
Yes.
And you get like the best
so
flavor
it's actually
from it.
Smoked. So it releases more flavors.
Oh,
yes.
Okay. Okay, do you need something?
Yes, I do.
Just tell me what you need. What do you need?
Something to crunch.
Okay, don't worry. We'll get that for you. So let's begin working on our fish fillet. Yeah. So here we're about to crush our uyayak. It's right here. She already chopped it and it's smoked, but she wants to crush it so that we get the best flavor from the uyayak. And let me tell you one interesting secret, guys. The uyayak is packing on a lot of nutritional flavors and benefits. It's very rich in, antioxidants that could be very beneficial to your immune system. And there's that local flavor that it gives to your banga, right?
Yes, ma'am.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's tasty. It's I don't know.
It's everything.
Okay, yeah. So now we're about to work on our fish fillet, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So quickly, let's run through that.
So what we have here is the deboned fish with some black pepper and salt.
Okay, and then we're just gonna fry it up. Fantastic stuff happening here in the kitchen. I'm super excited. I hope you are at home. You watching at home, I hope you're super excited as we are here. We're going on a quick break now. It's the top of the hour. There's still so much more happening here on the show. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
Now, they say laughter is the second best thing that you can share with someone only after first one, which is actually a smile.
So put a smile on your face,
No
no
matter
matter
the
condition.
weather.
Even if you don't have access to your money, we
Banks are on strike, but keep smiling.
We'll be all right. Keep that friendly smile on your face. You could just be saving a life today.
Absolutely.
And that's what we aim to do every weekday, Monday to Friday.
Absolutely. So get ready for non-stop, back-to-back, full-on excitement with the Wake Up Nigeria crew. Thank you very much for coming here and joining us. We've got so much on offer for you, and it's nothing but the very best.
As always, we have quite the show as, well, every single aspect of today's edition has been carefully curated just for your viewing pleasure.
Absolutely.
Take
We're
your
not
mind
the
off
only
your
ones
words.
with
Okay.
smiles this morning. Instead of the kitchen, of course, is wearing a very bright one as well. Let's see that smile. Where are you? There you are.
For once, I'm more interested in what is being cooked than
Of
MM.
course,
That's
you'll
me.
be interested.
I always like
in
your
it.
outfits, but today I'm like,
The two of you, I don't want to see you near this kitchen.
You say?
Stay where you are.
MM, they said put a smile on people's face. Stop
Please,
threatening
I am the only one eligible that has the full authority to
What do you-
smile
what do
on
you
this
have
show
it again?
today in
What
this
is it called?
kitchen.
What do you have it
Banga jollof.
Banga, what did you call it again?
Banga jollof.
Where am I from? Who has the authority now?
This is what we are saying about entitlement.
It's Banga soup. Come on.
But hey, Chef Rudy has been very hard at work. I would say well done. She's very creative. You know, it's not just about cooking, it's also being able to add a twist here and there and just, you know, create that beautiful, sumptuous meal. And it's really coming together very nicely. We're about to fry up our fish fillet, right? And yeah, things are looking really good. And the aroma,
Thank you
take
so much.
my
MM.
breath away.
Thank you. Yeah. I'm about to invent something too. Begiri jollof rice.
Oh
That's
God, you guys, slow down now.
Everybody's inventing.
Before you know it.
Eforiro jollof rice.
All right, let's not hold you guys back. Let's get started and let you guys know what we have coming your way. My name is Mazino Appeal.
And of course, my name is Mary Bashua Alimi. Now remember, you can use the hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC, and that's across all our social media platforms, just so you can be the part of the best breakfast show on Nigerian television.
And you can see us live from absolutely anywhere. You must have the app on your phone. Download on Google Play Store or on iOS. Please, we also ensure that you guys please follow us across all our social media platforms. You might be seeing us live on channel 16 or UHF
That's on
49.
GOTV.
Yeah, GOTV channel 16. UHF 49. Thank you very much, guys. Like I
And
said.
follow us across all social media platforms, okay? At TVC Connect. Very important.
Now, let's let you guys know what we have for the rest of the show. We've got coming your way Ife Moj, popularly known as the Minister of Joy. He's a singer exceptional with his songwriting capability, a music producer as well, worship leader. We can't wait to hear what he has in store for us today.
Now, to talk about parenting the boy child for a better tomorrow, we are joined by Joy Abu, a broadcaster and certified child coach who has a passion and love for children with emphasis on training. We can't wait for that conversation.
So, very interesting story Mary actually shared. Remember the scam story that you shared?
Which one?
Oh,
There's
you
so
can't
many
remember the
scams.
scam, the guy in Lekki.
Ah, yes, that one. That
You
one.
want me to tell it?
Yeah, you can tell it.
So apparently there's this young man somewhere around Lekki, Jakande area, who every morning gets victims by convulsing and dropping to the floor. Exactly.
At the bus stop.
Bus stop, road, or anything, it just convulses and drops. So he gets your empathy. We were talking about empathy earlier. So people rush to his aid, and he uses the same story. His drugs are 28,000 naira. He's ill, and so and so and so. So somebody put this out and said, "Oh, I met this young man. I feel so sad." So put it up on
Everybody
social
say,
media. And then somebody said, wait though.
I know this one.
Is the guy's medicine 28,000?
You say yes.
So did the guy drop and convulse around?
Yes.
Yes. Like, oh, so it's the same guy. Put up his picture.
Honestly, that one is the same guy. When they were to say yes, I was just remembering that R. Kelly song.
Same
It was
girl.
Usher, same girl. Was that wait? Sounded.
He shared a picture and they're like, that's the very same guy. So apparently he's been doing this over and over and getting people. So remember when you talked about people not really being genuinely empathetic anymore, I can see why this is eroding in society because of instances like this.
Now there's another scam that someone shared of, oh yes, it was actually Betty Rabo on Twitter. So she was saying that she noticed something. She went to the supermarket to shop, and then she noticed this very beautiful young girl that walked up to her and was like, "Oh, I love your dress, auntie or mommy or something." And she was, you know, moved by the girl's innocence, right? And then she, you know, and then she was asking her, "Where's your mom?" And she was like, "Oh, that she's not with her mom." And then she noticed the girl wandered off, and then she was shopping for things. So when she got to the counter, she saw the girl there already with her things.
And she paid for
And then she paid for her.
empathy.
She now got to another supermarket.
I saw the girl doing the same.
Saw another set of young children doing the same thing. And then she was like, "Wait a minute, oh.
I've been scammed.
Is this a ploy that people now use, the little adults or parents or whatever now use little children to get them to pay?" And man, you need to see the thread of people reliving their own experiences.
Wow.
At the certain supermarkets on the island, you see these little children. I now remember that my husband gone safe. It happened to him.
Oh, wow.
Yes, because he's a very generous being. He saw the little boy, you know, shopping for, he had like some packs of noodles, and then he was like, "Where's your mom?" And when he saw him at the counter, he felt moved, and he was like, "Okay." Next thing, he saw the boy ran back to go and pick a few more other things to add to it. And then he was like, "Wait a minute, but you just had these few things to buy. Why are you going back and getting a few things?" But he was like, "Whatever, you know, I'm shocked." I said, "Oh, God, don't scam me."
Listen, yeah, I'm not going to ask anybody to stop helping. Help.
Yeah.
It's okay. Leave the judgment for God.
Yeah.
Right? That's all.
Yes,
Cute.
honestly, you've just said it. Just help.
Cute,
Help.
my
Follow your heart.
So
Do
cute.
what you have to do and let it be. Time for the news update on Wake Up Nigeria. I am Mary Bashua Alimi. The Presidential Election Tribunal Court will, on September 6th, deliver judgment on the petitions filed by the People's Democratic Party, Labour Party, and the Allied People's Party, challenging the outcome of the 2023 presidential election. Registrar of the Court of Appeal, Umar Bangari, confirmed this development via a telephone conversation with TVC News. The Labour Party, PDP, and APM had petitioned the tribunal seeking to nullify the election of President Bola Tinubu as the winner of the 2023 presidential election. Judgment is also expected to be delivered by election tribunals in 25 states for governorship, National Assembly, and State Assembly election petitions. Outside Nigeria, the leader of Gabon's military junta has vowed to return power to civilians after, in quotes, free, transparent, and of course, elections. In a speech after being sworn in as interim president, he did not give a date for military rule to end. General Bryce Nguema led last Wednesday's coup against Ali Bongo, toppling the president shortly after he was named winner of a disputed election. Crowds of cheering civilians turned up at the inauguration. The coup was welcomed by many eager for change. Some say General Nguema's rule will be a continuation of the 55-year Bongo dynasty. Ali Bongo's father, Omar, was in power for 41 years before he died in 2009 and was succeeded by his son. The general, aged 48, spent most of his career in the Bongo's inner circle and is even thought to be Ali Bongo's cousin. At Monday's inauguration, General Nguema gave a defiant speech referencing the likes of South African Archbishop Desmond Tutu, French statesman Charles de Gaulle, and the former Ghanaian leader, Jerry Rawlings. And that's it on the news update for today on Wake Up Nigeria. So much more to come. To stay with us. Okay, so to talk about parenting this morning, that is parenting the boy child for a better tomorrow, we're joined by Joy Abu, a broadcaster and certified child coach who has a passion and love for children with emphasis on training. It's such a pleasure to have you in the studio.
Thank you. It's good to have you once again. Good
Fantastic,
to be here.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, so when people talk about parenting the boy child, some people feel, yeah, but I'm doing my best. I'm raising my son. I'm doing this. I'm doing that.
Okay.
Before we even talk about the steps parents are to take when they have a son and raise him right to be a full-grown, responsible man, let's talk about the importance. Why is it so important in the first instance?
Okay, the importance is the fact that over the years, our forefathers have taught the boys, now men, supremacy, and that has brought a whole lot of issues where you have the girl child. And that's part of what the society is facing today. Now, it's important we start training our boy children that, okay, you know what? This is not all about supremacy. It's about you being human. It's about you being yourself. That's where we are taking this whole thing from, so that it will help us, because 80% of the challenges the girl child is going to is as a result of the boy child not properly taught. Yes.
80%.
80%.
Yeah, I guess that's why they say woe to men. Okay,
exactly.
Now let's talk about how a boy child can be properly trained.
Okay.
Please run us through some of them.
Firstly, you teach them empathy.
Empathy.
Yes. Once they have empathy, they will see the girl child as part of them. And that's where love and respect comes into play. You know, over the years, we've had boys being trained as being tough and all of that. You're not letting them have emotions and all of that. But now we are trying to rephrase it that, you know what, teach them empathy, teach them respect. Once they have that, they have emotions. And once they start loving the girl child as themselves, they will not tend to hurt the girl child. So you see that a whole lot of things is boiled down to the empathy, the respect, and the emotions they pour out towards the girl child. So that's why it's really important we emphasize on those three things: empathy, respect, and emotions.
Empathy, respect and emotions. In what way can a boy be taught to respect the female?
It starts from the home front. It starts from you teaching your boy child. Now, the thing is, we have taught our girl children to be princesses, to talk like princesses, to be polite and all of that. And we are not doing that to the boy child. Now, the boy child just grows up knowing that I'm a man. I'm growing into a man and all of that. But once you start teaching them the place of respect, bringing them to the place of, you know what, you have to say thank you, you have to be polite in the way you talk and all of that. So it helps them know that, okay, this is a culture I have to imbibe inside of me. And then when you teach them empathy towards one another, now that helps them in such a way that whatever they are doing to their girl child, it feels like I'm doing it to myself. So they are conscious in whatever they are doing. So it all starts from the home front. It starts from parents being conscious in putting that idea, like, you know what, learn to be respectful, learn to do things politely.
Now, Joy, I believe there are so many posts about this.
Yes.
There have been so many talks about it.
Yes.
However, looking at a mother of a boy child,
okay,
if the mother says, okay, I know I'm supposed to raise my son to be respectful, to be empathetic and all, but how exactly do I do it? Is it by ensuring that, you know, like there was actually a reel I saw on social media where this mom was showing her son therapy via shopping, as women do, retail shopping, buying clothes, so that tomorrow it will not say his woman is spending too much time shopping, or making sure her son learns to wait when she's getting ready. So tomorrow it will not be impatient and be saying, aren't you ready yet? You know, all those kind of, what are those specifics?
No, I love the fact that you're bringing those ideas. I am a mother of a boy, so I've learned over the years that men have this inner attitude in them that they tend to want to overshadow their female counterpart despite the age difference. But then I deliberately made it a point of duty. Those things that matter a lot. I'll give a very typical example. Anytime I'm sleeping and my son wants to eat, he doesn't have to wake me to go dish his food. He has to go by himself, get the food, because he realizes the fact that I need that rest.
How old is he?
He's going to 7 by December.
Oh. And he's dishing his own food?
Yes, and he does that.
Nice.
So those are the little things to make them understand that now this is the home front. There is time for the place of rest. There is time for responsibility. Now, you talked about patience. If that child grows up now, he will understand the fact that patience is key. And so in whatever he's doing, he would, even in the place of workforce and all of that, he would imbibe that attitude of patience. So it's a deliberate effort. You teach them patience from the home front. You teach them those little things. It's far beyond them going to cook. Now we are talking about attitude, we are talking about morals, we are talking about discipline, we are talking about the fact that when the boy child misbehaves, you imbibe strict disciplines that works according with the kind of personality he is. Yeah.
Okay, so these days, simps have been trending, where a man who is being loving, who is respectful, who is empathetic, especially to his spouse, is simply called a simp.
Okay.
However, there are some instances where certain things are mentioned that men do that even as a woman, you'll be like, okay, this is too extra.
Okay.
How can you create that balance so much so that the child does not become an, in quotes, bolo?
Okay.
Still a man, still able to manage the situations, be kind, be respectful, be empathetic and all, and yet not like
Firstly, you teach them self-esteem.
Self-esteem.
Self-esteem is key when you're raising a boy child.
Yes.
Now, that distinguishes him in whatever he's doing, whether he's taking care of his spouse, doing the shopping, in as much as he has this inner self-esteem inside of him, he knows that he's just doing his duties. And then you teach men to be emotional, to let go their emotions. You see, sometimes you see that men that do those things are doing it because they want to please.
Yeah.
It's not that they are doing it, it's not what was inbuilt in them. But a man who has been tortured from day one to have self-esteem and to be emotional knows that I'm doing these things because this is me. This is my space. And that's why we are trying to correct that notion that when you see a man doing these things, he's not a weakling. He's doing it because he's trying to reverse the opposite of the supremacy men have had over the years concerning their spouses. So that's it. Self-esteem is key.
Yeah, so that's for those who keep calling certain kind of men simps. There's no such thing as
Exactly, there is none like that.
Thank you so much for your time,
Thank
Joe.
you very much.
It's always a pleasure having a conversation.
Thank you, I'm always available. Thank you.
And thank you as well for watching Parents in this morning on Wake Up Nigeria. We have to take a break. When we return, there's a conversation loading. You want to watch out for that.
Mazina has been pointing.
Always won the Eddies every year. Best bathroom singer in the world. Yes.
Okay, welcome to the kitchen, Feifei. This is Chef Pretty, and this morning she's made banga jollof with a lot of everything in it. So please enjoy.
Just dig in.
Okay.
Go straight. Just go
This is actually the
straight.
first time I've tasted banga jollof.
We haven't.
Please,
We are waiting.
we want you to testify
Yes.
Okay.
of these cuisine. Oh my.
Okay, let's see how.
Gonna be good.
Oh, okay. Banga jollof.
Be good.
Oh, it does.
Actually bangs though.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
I'm used to banga with rice or some kind of swallow, but this
That's
is actually
fantastic.
bangs.
Nice.
Yo,
The fish, don't dull. The fish.
Don't dull on the fish.
I want
yeah?
feedback on that one.
I'm
Because
sure
it's
it's
looking
good.
yummy.
Yeah, she did. Fish fillet.
What's that little sauce on top of the fish? What's that?
smoked atadidi sauce.
Smoked
Atadidi.
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 Yeah.
I even thought it was palm oil that had congealed.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Really?
Smoked atadidi.
What do you think?
I can't wait to taste it myself.
Ah. Chef Pretty. Well done.
I'm not 100% a lover of fish. I prefer my chicken, turkey, and stuff like that.
But you love this one.
Love it.
I love the sauce on it.
Ah, nice.
Fantastic. That's right.
Thank you, Feifei.
And thanks for the dodo.
And to all our guests. Yes. And Chef Pretty, thank you all for being on the show today.
Yes,
you have a beautiful day ahead.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Catch you tomorrow.